Twitch, YouTube, Mixler, Facebook Live. There's a couple of others. You go show all, and there is tons. So you can basically stream to any platform you want. So we're going to go to Facebook Live here, and it pops up a box that says stream key. And I just paste that in there, and I go apply. Okay, and then what I do is then I hit this start streaming button, and now what you'll see happening is on my OBS I get a green box down here that basically says I've got good connection. By the way, you want to do this connected to an LAN blue cable, an Ethernet cable. Don't try to do this over Wi-Fi, or especially if you're working from home, you will make yourself frustrated. And then what happens is then you'll notice here up on Facebook, and I'm going to switch to, I'm going to turn Stellarium back on. And there's a delay here, and there are ways of getting around that. There, now, as you can see, Facebook, well, actually, I need to do both of these at the same time. Actually, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my Stellarium window there. There we go. And let's bring Facebook. So Facebook is now showing what OBS is sending it. And then all you have to do is scroll down here to, and we go down here, and there is a button, if I can find it. Oh, then there's a button on Facebook in the lower left-hand corner that says go live. Oh, I know why. Hold on a second. I got a lot going there. This is kind of looking in the mirror here. We're gonna have it fit to the screen. There we go. And there's a button that says go live. Oops. And when you hit go live, it's going live out there to your universe. Now the same thing, the same process works if you go to YouTube. Let me hide my Stellarium window here. Okay, now if I go to YouTube, and I think I'm signed in as me, let me change to the Planetarium's account. Seriously? Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's fine, whatever. Close. Okay, so here is a list of our videos that we've created, but if you want to stream live, you go up here to the little camera, and it says create video or post. You click that, and you click the button that says go live. Now, just like in Facebook, now it looks a little different because you can set it up. You could set up the name of your podcast or your streaming and use it multiple times. And that's fine. We'll just do that. Create. And then we'll do the same thing. Here is where you see stream key, and it's just a code. You copy that. Then in OBS Studio, under settings for streaming, instead of Facebook, you'll change it to YouTube. Oh, and it won't work if you're still streaming. So you have to stop streaming on OBS to get it to work. So then you go to your settings and change from Facebook Live to YouTube. And you'll have to drop that code in there. Okay. And then you can stream to YouTube. And we found that the podcasts get some viewership. The live stream gets a different kind of viewership. We found that it's very similar. The people that come to see your live stream come to all of them. They love it. Now, this is never going to be as good as doing this in your dome, but you could tell it to look at whatever your software is, whether you're using Stellarium or whether you're using UniView or Digital Sky or whatever. If OBS is connected to the machine that's running it, it can grab that stuff from wherever. And you can get really fancy with it. You can add windows within windows within windows. As you can see here, and I'm going to go ahead and, so you could add windows within windows within windows. There's a whole range of things that you could add to, for it to look at and listen to. But the point is that I saw an article, for those people who follow Dome L, I saw a discussion thread on Dome L about how, well, with COVID, even if we reopen, nobody's going to be coming back to the planetarium because they can do everything online. And my response to that is, I guarantee you they will. This is just an interim to keep reminding people that, yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still doing what we're doing. And when you really want to get excited, come back to the planetarium. So I'm going to do my stop sharing here. We've got about, there we go. Okay, now I'll turn my video back on. And so there it is. There is basically using live streaming to engage your audience using OBS Studio and whatever software you want. And we've done kind of a okay version of this. Look to the Fist. They've been doing amazing things with this, as you can see, as they mentioned earlier today. So go to, those are the kinds of things we can do with a little time and a little bit of just a little pre-planning. Okay. So that's, yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's pretty short. I've got an astronomy camp coming here in about 10 minutes, but that's everything in a nutshell. And there's lots of tutorials out there. So I'll let people open it up for questions or comments or things like that.
I have a question.
You betcha.
I was actually looking at OBS this morning on my computer here. I have a Mac, and but I haven't used it before, so I'm kind of just learning the features. And one thing I've noticed from some of our attendees, that when they initially log in to Zoom, they're already sharing their OBS interface as opposed to sharing an OBS screen after the fact, like once they, are, presenting in this case, like when you sign. So Sure. It's that difference of time. How do you share the OBS screen initially?
Well, because usually for what we do for the planetarium, we don't, our audience doesn't see the OBS screen. They only see the end product. I was trying to demonstrate the software a little bit. But you can have OBS, you can run Zoom or Google through OBS. What all I did here is I put OBS up on my main monitor and then did share screen.
That you had to share screen.
Yeah, yeah. Because this was something I wanted to do. I wanted to show everybody the behind the scenes kind of thing. If you're doing
Oh
this
yeah.
with your, yeah, the audience, your traditional audience will never see what you do in OBS. But yeah, basically all I did in this was I did Zoom and did. Now that may not have been the most efficient way to do it. I'm not sure about that, but the you know, the folks at the FISC probably are way more efficient at this than us. I've kind of been doing this by watching YouTube videos on, oh, how do you do this in OBS? And sometimes they're really useful, and sometimes they're, oh wow, that's way beyond what I want to do here. So yeah, I just did a share screen in Zoom.
Okay. Yeah, I see John's posting in the chat about, well, he sent it to me, but thank you, John, about the link.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that difference between sharing, because if I just share a screen, then I have two windows, like two camera views, one of me talking, and then the other is my shared screen. And I was wanting to try to eliminate the secondary shared screen. But
yeah, and I think in Zoom, when you go share screen, if you got a lot of stuff going on, you can say, oh, pick that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for all the shout outs, Rod. But, I will just mention that as much as FISC has experimented with OBS, we've actually had one of our postbaccalaureate students, Jeremy Osowski, do most of our heavy lifting for us on that end. So if anybody wants any you know, help or feedback or anything on OBS, we're totally willing to help. And you might get my friend Jeremy.
It's really powerful software, but it's like Blender. It's got a learning curve. But the nice thing about it is you can learn just enough to do exactly what you want, and then you need not go any further. Now, if you do, then, oh, hey, there's all kinds of flashy things you can do with it. But our first very basic one was start, put the sky up, put Stellarium up, record, and the nice thing too is when you record, you can have it saved to just about any format you want. MP4 is probably easiest and more universal, but yeah, you can do all kinds of things with it. And the learning curve is a little bit steep, but you can kind of find your comfort zone and say, okay, I don't want to do any of the rest of that cool stuff. Okay. The frame rate on Zoom makes your planetariums. Yeah, and the only time we've used Zoom through OBS is Michelle and I did an astronomy Q&A. And basically we came up with a bunch of commonly asked planetarium questions, and it was like an interviewee thing, and she asked the questions and I did the answers and brought some stuff up. You don't have to use Zoom unless you're going to do a closed meeting that only certain people can come to. If you're streaming something live, do you need a computer with gaming graphics processor? When I was doing this from home, I was doing this on my MacBook Pro. And I just added a second monitor to make it a little easier. And I don't think my MacBook Pro is really what you'd call a gaming machine so much, but so I would say not necessarily. 2013 technology. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and you can add an external webcam if you want to. We've got a little one on a stand that I wanted as a door prize somewhere. You don't have to use your built-in webcam if you don't, or you can do both. You can have two webcams and two different people if you wanted to do it that way. But the point is using OBS is a great way to get that presence out there until, keep people keep your planetarium in the public's mind until they can come back to your planetarium. Okay, any other questions? Like I said, there's lots of people out there we didn't invent this or come up with this, we all kind of came to the same solution at kind of probably around the same time when we all closed in March. And It's just we happen to be streaming on Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. Okay. All right, other questions? All right, well then I'm going to duck out so I can get ready for my astronomy camp students, and hopefully I get back to see everybody before we break up for the afternoon, but we'll see.